Hopefully I pushed this right. All right. I'm Kimo Olds. I'm the manufacturer, CEO of Kimo's own Grindz chili pepper water. It's a Hawaiian condiment hot sauce. Kimo's own Grindz hot sauce is different than most hot sauce companies out there. Mine's more about you can enjoy the flavors of the hot sauce, you can still taste your food, and you can cook with mine. So it's a lot more versatile. We do manufacture in Concord, North Carolina, in a commercial kitchen. We are FDA approved. I've been going on my 4th year right now. Folks, because my hot sauce is not one of the lower ones where you can buy something for $2. Mine's more of a premium product. It runs right now about $11 a bottle. We usually don't have any problem selling it, and it's authentic. I actually grew up with chili pepper water, and it's the problem with most hot sauces is they're just hot. They look red or they're orange. They try to get the most hottest peppers. I know folks right now are trying to use Pepper X as a hot sauce, and that's 3 million Scoville units. Mine's not even close to that. They also have a lot of chemicals, additives, sugars, preservatives, so it's not really healthy for you to use a different kind of hot sauce. My solution is that we come with 3 different flavors. Original is the one that I grew up with. It's about a medium heat. I also have jalapeno. It's very mild. Folks will use this for, like, just say they're greens. Now, I did do this one for my wife because she does have acid reflux and she cannot handle a hot sauce condiment. So this one, it does not affect it. And I do have customers that have that as well. And then my hottest one is an orange habanero. My hot sauce is pretty much, as you're swallowing it with your food, you're going to get the heat profile. It's not on the tip of your tongue or your lips. Okay, this is our team. I'm the CEO. My wife right now is the owner of our company. We also have a CPA. She makes sure we do everything, you know, for our state income tax, our sales tax. Also, she's going to start doing some of our international things that we do. And Brian is my vegan advisor because actually our stuff is vegan friendly because I use a commercial kitchen. I can't say it's vegan free, but it's also gluten free and sugar free. So if you have dietetic restrictions, a lot of folks will buy our fucks. Now, when we do get more money, we will do social media. My wife won't do that part because I know most folks don't, because we are husband and wife, and you know, we bring work home with us sometimes, but we're trying to get away from that as well. Okay, our challenges right now, because the market is saturated. What do we need with another hot sauce company? But I think mine is different in the spectrum from I appeal to the vegan community, and I also appeal to folks that like meat because it's great as if you're going to do smoked meat. Also, getting supplies like my bottles. I use glass bottles. Only manufacturers come out of an Asian market. Sometimes farmers have a hard time growing what I need, or the peppers aren't right, and so there are constraints to that as well. And finding a co-packer here in North Carolina is extremely difficult because I have solids and liquids. Most manufacturers here, especially as a co-packer, is they only want it to where it's blended and emulsified all together, so they don't really want to use that. Okay. We started in 2021. That was pretty much customer development, doing interviews, seeing what folks, you know, would be interested in purchasing our product. 2022, we started working on a brand again, you know, because that is defined our niche basically, because everybody has a different taste when it comes to a condiment. And then 2023, we are FDA approved. So every time we make a batch in our commercial kitchen, I have to make paperwork. The FDA looks at our stuff. I've been audited. That's a lot of fun. You don't want to do that. And in 2024, we started gaining traction. We have some really big accounts. We got small businesses. Folks recognize the brand. And in 2025, we're actually going to look for our trademark federally because we are expanding in other states and things like that. We also, I know internationally, we have to get their trademarks as well. We do want to do trade shows this year. I actually have a couple coming, especially for my co-packing. It's called Pack Expo. It's in Atlanta, so hopefully I can find a co-packer. And I use a lot of things with Range Me. as well. They're a great source to do trade shows. It's more or less, instead of going to a big trade show where you hope to see folks, the buyers will come and see you. This is our market strategy. We do have an online website. We're also trying to get influencers and restaurants and bars to use our products in their recipes and their cocktails, because actually my hot sauce goes in cocktails now. A lot of folks will buy my jalapeno just for margaritas. And then we do local markets, events, just to keep working on our brand, the trade shows, pretty much, word of mouth is starting to get out there as well. Okay. We started with Locust Farmers Market. Great community. They embraced us. We do so well with their, and we do different things with Polynesian festivals, because I am Hawaiian. If you ever want to go to see Hawaii, definitely Jacksonville, North Carolina is a great one. And then our wholesale accounts, Cisco, we're on theirs, and we just got Cheney Brothers. We're also in Walmart Marketplace and about 7 different shops. So we're asking about $225,000. It's basically for co-packers, for folks I need the trade shows and the slotting fees and the tasters that we have. Okay, thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions.
I'm going to go down the road. Is Christine? Are you good, sister?
Kimo, thank you for sharing with us. I have to say my husband is in the Hot Sauce of the Month Club from Hot Ones or something like that. So while I don't have much CPG experience, we consume a lot of hot sauce in our house. One thing that I'm aware of as it relates to hot sauce that would be is that our region, like North and South Carolina, actually comes out with a lot of peppers related to these hot sauces. And it would be awesome to hear from you a little bit more about why this region and why you are particularly the right person to be building this business. If you want to share a few minutes.
Well, I moved here from Hawaii, and it was always on my table, and my wife happened to taste it one day about 5 years ago and said, "We need to bottle this." And I said, "Are you nuts?" Because I have friends in the food industry. It's hard to find farmers, because I'm trying to get it to where it's more organic. Then because I don't want all the pesticides, I wash my peppers and the garlic several times to get all the chemicals and the dirt and everything out. So organically, it would be a little bit better. And the crops here, the farmers that I deal with are awesome. I tell them this is what I need, and they can supply me. Even if we get a co-packer, we can still supply, they can supply our peppers. Now, the only problem with, the only time that we have a problem is with my Thai chilies. There's only 2 countries that grow Thai chilies, because Hawaiian chilies, they cannot mass produce. It's just not possible. So that's usually my biggest headache, is my Thai chilies, because it's Thailand and Puerto Rico. That's why, and if I could find somebody else that could do that, but it's quite difficult to find peppers. The jalapenos and habaneros, great farmers here in North Carolina.
I love this. A few ideas for future pitches as you're working with other investors and things of that nature. I would encourage either talking a little bit more about your professional experience, if you have experience in CPG or have brought other products to market. If not, that's okay. If you have advisors or anything like that that are helping you think through the go-to-market plans and things of that nature.
Actually, I have 3 really good.
There you go.
I've never done a CBG in my life. I have North Carolina State University is awesome. I also work with the North Carolina Food Innovations Lab, Bill and his team. They've helped me. So I've actually had to go and learn a lot of things on my own, because other CBG companies, I'm competition to them, but I'm totally different. So I didn't get to share a lot. So it took me, that first year, because I have to do an acidic class too, I have to pass. It's part of the requirements, and Department of Agriculture, because I do belong to Gotta Be North Carolina as well. So there's a lot of resources that you can use here in North Carolina that I had to find on my own. Nobody would share that with me. And Brian is actually one of my first mentors that he does. And then, like I said, I do a lot of things with Flywheel. That's out of Concord. So there's.
So what I would encourage is for some of those advisors that have been there before and know how to get a product out, into wholesale and stuff like that. Highlighting some of those relationships and some of what you've learned that just as a investor, they might want to hear, this guy knows everything about hot sauce. Can he bring it to market in a meaningful way, and has from someone who has been there, done that, and knows kind of the trajectory of how to do that.
Thanks, Kimo. Well, first of all, I was hoping that you might have some on you. I'm incredibly excited to try
If anybody wants to try some of mine, I have samples, and I can. I didn't have a place to put my bottles, but you can kind of see the labels, how our labels is. Tells a little story, a cultural thing, and what you can use it on. But I'll bring those out and I'll let you. We have time.
I'll have to grab a bottle. Also, as a first feedback for your pitch, I would bring more visuals into your pitch, and you have an actual product. I would absolutely highlight it here. My first thought was you probably have too many words on a lot of slides, and here's why or what that does. So the executive summary slide, I started reading while you were talking, and I think I got to manufactured in North Carolina, and then you jumped to the next slide, and I do not recall what you were talking about on the first slide because I read. So I might have missed any big differentiation or things like that. I would bring it really down on words. And maybe for everybody in the room too, we would recommend people have two kinds of deck. One is a pitch deck and one is a circulation deck. So the pitch deck is very visual. It's for a room like this. The circulation deck is what you would email out afterwards. Because the other part to this is what was interesting to me switching sides from entrepreneur to investor. Your deck gets forwarded a ton of times. When I get a deck, I typically send it out to a few investors in our fund and go, hey, you have done a prop tech venture. Does this make sense? Or I might send it to a customer I know. It's like, is this really a problem? And they all then need to understand your business without your voiceover, right? So for a circulation deck, this is great. For a pitch deck, I would bring a lot more visuals in, if that makes sense. A second feedback point, I would try in your talk track to switch from my or mine to ours or we. And here's a couple of things that does to an investor. I think on the one hand, you're signaling size. When it's I do this, I produce that, I do this, it makes it seem like here's a sole proprietor in a small company. While if you do we, it seems bigger. But the other important part is risk, right? If it's really all you, if you get hit by the proverbial bus, I guess my money is gone, right? So I want to hear the we, our, etc. I would say third, give us a little bit of an idea of traction and plans in your pitch, kind of where are you now, and then with the money, what do you want to do, right? And where does this go? So every investor can get an idea of, okay, whatever, they might make 100,000 in revenue now, and if I give them my money, they could make $1 million in a few years, or wherever that may be, but to give us an idea of size. And a last thought maybe for you, and definitely feel free to follow up with me, because I can absolutely understand how frustrating it is for non-software people seeing big checks being written in software and running an uphill battle to find money for yours. My thought would be, and again, more than happy to do a much longer session and introduce you around. My thought would be to actually start with grants. The NC idea part, there's a lot of pitch competition, prize monies too. So I tell a lot of founders, if 50 to 100K can move the needle for you, just stay in that grant prize money category. It allows you to keep 100% control of your business, all optionality and the like. Other than that, I would go around angels, probably more than I would go to VCs. And the reason for that is, for VCs, it's oftentimes, my goal is, I need to try and find a company that can make me a 25 million return. That's my goal. That's incredibly hard to do in CPG, right? Especially in a short time. I also only have like 5 or 6 years to get that done. So that's why I tend to go to incredibly scalable, right? Just something that, even though it has a small % chance of being big, there's a small chance of it being really big. There's a high risk it goes to 0 too. I don't think you have that risk. So I think in the angel territory, and again, I'll give you my email. We can chat further about that if that's helpful.
And I have tried for NCID. I got to the second round of that. I wasn't chosen for the startup, and I've done some other pitches too, but no, that's awesome. CBGs I understand why investors don't like CBGs, just because you're hot 1 minute and you're cold the next. So, it definitely is risky.
You stole almost all my points, by the way, both of you did. So I'll just reinforce on the presentation, less words, because I did exactly the same thing, right? And he reads faster than me. I didn't get as far down as he got, and then you were on to the next slide, and I was left trying to catch up. The team, right? Again, that idea of expanding on the team, and just so that you know, investors will have a little bit of a hurdle that they'll have to get over with the husband and wife teams. It's just it increases a little bit of risk. So just that's something again that you can address by saying there's an even bigger team attached. The other, a couple of local resources that you may, I'm glad you I used to teach at NC State many decades ago, and so I'm glad you've tapped in there. There's another little university not far from here, actually, Johnson & Wales.
Yes,
And if you need some connectivity there, let me know. I used to teach a venture class there for a few years. And on the other group locally that you should be connected to, Compass Group. Are you familiar with them? So they're the 10th largest employer in the world, by the way. Their North American headquarters is here in Charlotte, and they have a $32 billion purchasing program focused on the food service. So that is definitely a connection that you should make, and I can help you there if you like. On your traction, one of the slides that you kind of put up, and there was a lot of detail in there, so you hurried through it. But one of the things that I noticed was you said you actually had traction at Walmart Marketplace,
and Cheney Brothers.
right. I would have definitely. I barely had time to pick that up because I don't know if you actually. Again, I was trying to follow along, but that's a pretty big deal, especially if it's where you've actually landed there and you're beginning to expand, because obviously there are a few stores.
There's 266 million customers.
Sorry, we got to sneak in one last question. I saw him back here. We have a CPG investor here who has some questions. So do you mind asking?
Hey folks, my name's Harold. Good at CPG, partake. So a big fan of the space. You talked about your product being $11.99, but I don't think we saw pictures of your product.
Okay.
Compares in my head, I think of Truff. Can you talk a little bit about where your product positions in the market relative to a higher end hot sauce? And there's about 60, 70 people here. Plus online, seems like an opportunity for commercials. So how can we learn more about that part of it? Like position the product relative to what's on the market.
Okay. We had to raise our prices. It used to be $10 retail, but due to my cost, my bottles and my Thai chilies, I had to raise January 1st up to $11. So we had like all three flavors. And then I also started during the holidays that we have gift bags, gift boxes. It's actually our mailer, but we made it into so one of each. That seemed really popular for folks to try it. And the sampling that we do, I think once people taste it, because people, as you know, get intimidated by hot sauce, so they just gonna think it's hot, there's no flavor, or, and mine's more of a condiment. That's why I say condiment hot sauce. And I definitely will put products. I did bring bottles to put up on the table, but I should have brought a table to put them on there. And I did bring samples for folks to try. If anybody wants to try some, I brought little cups. You can take it home with you. You don't have to try it here. You can put it on some of your food. I think the versatility of mine is different because folks use it as a hot sauce, as a marinade. They make salad dressings out of it. All you have to do is oil. They put it in their beverages. I have folks that put it in their coffee to cocktails. We do any kind of meat, seafood. It's just, my particular one is just, it's good for you. You don't have to worry about all the chemicals and everything that's there.
All right, Kimo, thank you so much.
Thank you.